Cypher here again, and this is the final part of Greed, which I'm going to complete here and now. So far, we have seen the torturers, the tormentors, the hoarders and wasters, definitely the mechanics of the game. Of course, there's still a little bit more down the road, and we're going to come up to at least an object of a certain individual, which we're actually here by here being the Wheel of Fortune. Not Wheel of Fortune, but say, Jack. If he was here, then something's wrong with this world, but no. But yeah, Wheel of Fortune obviously contributes to Lady Fortune. Alright. So I'm gonna meet her because we meet True as God of Wealth, but it's like it's nice to see Lady Fortune, but yeah, it's kind of strange. Why is she here? Because like I said, she's supposed to be this one that gives away the wealth, balances it, basically distributes it out effectively. Well, yeah. It's kind of strange, like, they didn't put her in, but maybe, it was something because there's not really many images out there of her. You really couldn't see it come over the more modern images. I don't know what the developer could have done, but oh well. But yeah, anyways, and this whole time with the paranormal. I've mentioned about some of the believers, and people have talked to different believers or heard stories and saw something that made me kind of think about it. Of course, then there's those that are definitely the skeptics. And the skeptics are, obviously those ones are going like, there's no such thing as ghosts or demons or stuff that go bump in the night. How do you explain when no one's home and a door opens? Okay? And actually, we're seeing right here is one of the creatures lost special abilities, but however, I was so far away that I could easily break them away and heal them performing a magic called martyrdom, which basically I sacrificed a bit of my life and mana to basically stun and raise my enemies into the air, so basically easy combos. And I have, obviously we have a glutton, and glutton is so fucking nasty individuals, and I'm actually going to solve this one and make him taste the light, and he's like, I don't know, really singing or something. Looks really good, but like I said, these skeptics. So I gotta say, it's kind of crazy, but at the same time, it's like a bit of a pain I have to deal with because of, like I said, what I explain when you see a door open or close on its own when no one else is in the house. At first, a lot of people say, it could be, like a haunted interaction, someone rigged it, and so forth. Yeah, but even then, it's like you gotta explain it. And actually, I was talking with a couple of individuals, and I was at a school one time, and it was during the Halloween time frame, and they were watching like Ghost Hunters, and I was too, and we were just talking about it, and we kind of comparing a bit of our notes on it. And one thing we definitely kind of agreed upon was there should be, yes, you have your skeptics and you have your believers, but there should almost be a big middle ground, like those who, like, yes, you have to think that there are those out there that don't believe it, yet those that do it, it's like that middle ground. And this area you're going to see here is definitely a moment where you should pay attention to your surroundings or you get crushed. Yeah, those crushers are quite destructive, so use your evasive key and get around it effectively. Well, at least you have these skeptics and these believers. And then, of course, you always consider there's the non-believers too. I mean, they don't believe that at all whatsoever. Of course, technically, it could be a skeptic in a sense, but you make your decision on that part. Now, me personally, I'm on the middle of the so-called middle ground zone, which is like, yes, there are those out there that cannot be explained. At the same time frame, there is stuff that can be explained by science, by technology. So, this person says I know witches are mean now. Yeah, shit, be done this. It's like, I'm gonna read my cross. It's potent to me. And here's Mark Anthony's wife, or at least one-time wife. So I absolve her because Mark Anthony was another douchebag. He fell in love and died for Cleopatra. And of course, we saw him here in the Inferno. So yeah. Send her to heaven, keep him here in the Inferno. All is good. But yeah, I'm not going to say this middle ground. I may have mentioned this before in the past, but definitely I said this middle ground is a perfect zone for me because it's like, I've seen some stuff that make me go, that is really bizarre. Like I said, I may have mentioned this before, but excuse me. But when I was in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, back in 2001, and I was in an area called Devil's Den, I actually saw something that was about 5 feet off the ground, and it was brownish gray haze. It was really weird, but I thought, okay, maybe it could have been dust. Then I heard stories about this stuff, and actually other people have seen something similar to that, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I saw a Confederate ghost. That was really quite interesting. But yet I've also saw stuff that's like, okay, that's there's a foggy mist and so forth. And of course, I just remembering actually right now, because I mentioned the whole Gettysburg thing, because it's like definitely like I said, seeing that hazy ghost was cool. But I remember walking by a location which actually was served as a field hospital during that time period of the American Civil War. That smelled peppermint, which was used to deal with the stench of death. And I was like, ooh, that's actually quite interesting. And technically, it would not last that long, but yeah, it was pretty cool. Now you have to pay attention over here. There's a creature because he keeps bringing down. So you can go back into that lava which he was standing on, or not lava, but the gold, and you can die. So for the easy way is just beat him into submission, and basically, get up there, kill the rider, and make pretty strong. However, it's short-lived because another one comes down. God, they really love to troll us. Jeez, I really. He's like, "You, that's my ride," or something. It's like, really weird. Now, this part you do fail, unfortunately. Even if you press it quick enough, you will fail it. It's like really weird. It's like some kind of mechanic. It shows you it, and there are going to be opportunities where that will happen again, which then you just press it really fast and you throw the rider off and you continue your assault on the beast. Of course, since that didn't last too long, you just basically keep using something called Cyclone, I believe it is, or Twister, and you basically are in the air and you just really quick slashes with your scythe, which is pretty cool. And here we go again. We got beat up level 2 demons, as well as our rider demon. So, and that's actually the longest you actually get the beat on these beasts, these hell beasts, if we'll call them that. Alright, but this is like one of the best parts because it's like, come on, you're riding a beast from hell in the Inferno. It's awesome. It's like freaking cool. I enjoy it. Now this part, it can be tricky if you don't pay attention, and we'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, like I said, like this whole, scene stuff and so being like this middle ground. Now I know some people out there say, oh no, ghosts are not real, they're just illusion of the mind and so forth. You go back in history, and there is tons of records out there of people saying stuff that they could not explain. They basically are ghosts. I think the Egyptians had their versions of ghosts, Greeks had theirs, of course. Their stories of the ghosts, and actually here's that. So I talk about that successfully theory guy off. I love the Greeks, just perfectly same stuff. Like I said with the Greeks, their stories on the ghost theory that they had was those that didn't have the right passage, like the money to go across the river Styx with Charon, basically were sent on or stranded on the shores forever there, and they basically would be able to go back to the world of living, but they would not be able to go into their bodies again, because since they'd be gone and dead. So you just wander as a ghost. But that's some cases of that out there. I think the Romans had something similar to that, since technically the Romans are Greek in a sense, because Greece did have some colonies within the Italy area, and of course, if you go back to the Trojan War on Troy, the Trojans were Greeks because they believed in Poseidon and Apollo, the two gods. One's the seas and one's the sun, I believe it was. Yeah. Of course, your main purpose here, what you're trying to do is you're trying to climb those walls and get past Petrus' statue blocks. However, you're not quick enough, you can't get past it. So, an easy solution to it is obviously, when you see here is, I'll let the subject come back, pull it out about to get line, so between the lines, because that's about where it is. Go back onto the other side, grab the block, and press circle button, hold it, and then launch it. And that's how you kick. Alright? Kick or launch them. And actually, there is a way, you probably know by that from testing it out when you're coming down from into here. Because there's one part you had to, but it's definitely a technique that works out very well. And of course, double tapping to just flip maneuver is very, very good. Of course, double tapping and double jumping, you just speed up the climbing process and you get from point A to point B, which is pretty impressive. Of course, I know people say that ghosts, the undead, are like omens of things to come. Like, let's take example, Mothman from Mount Pleasant, West Virginia, I believe. And their story is very sad in the sense, with the whole Silver Bridge collapsing, where lots of people, I can't remember the exact number of people died, but a good number of people died when the bridge collapsed. And a lot of people said shortly before and after that happened that this Mothman was in the air. What person's worth of saving your life for? Oh, come on. See, that's the problem with Dante's guy. He is a complete utter pain in the ass to respect. Pretty much put it in simple. You're calling us up, run away from me. It's not nice. It's a quick shot. Yeah, turn around, catch it, and work. And so, this guy. Okay, done. Nope, fighter. Take off. There we go. But yeah, so the whole Mothman, and actually there's stories of actually Mothman was supposedly around when back on September 11th of 2001, when the World Trade Center crashed, supposedly there were sightings of Mothman, and he was supposed at Chernobyl and quite a few other locations. So it's quite interesting. Now, how is Mothman classified as paranormal? Because it's not explained. Yes. I guess is the Inferno's not done well for you, dude. I am sorry. Yeah, yay for Dante.
Then we'll find out.
Whoa, what on earth happened to his right hand? It looks like a pig's foot. That is quite nasty. I am sorry, that is just nasty. But yeah, like Mothman, yeah, he's paranormal. And I actually remember watching a show called Paranormal State, and they actually went to the location where the Mothman first sighted and all stuff happened. And they actually brought a psychic, and the psychic did mention that Mothman is still there. It's an entity to help forewarn disaster. Alright, yep, you gotta beat your dad. Now, obviously, just quick, straight, sickle techniques will do serious amount of damage. And of course, obviously, he's using the move. And whenever he takes a knee, it's just how the ring falls apart. It collapses, and you have to move really quick. Because the more that happens, obviously, the more trouble it's gonna become. And obviously, like this object on the ground that is golden cross is definitely a nuisance because it's kind of weird. And of course, just keep backing away, and he is not going to count. Oh man, thank goodness there's some shade in there, because that would have been nasty to see. Like, just like that, the Inferno has not done well on his face. Actually, body totally.
Is that all you had to offer me? I'm not responsible.
See, even here in the Inferno, he's like still acting like, oh, nothing's not my fault and so forth. But of course, Dante is like, nope, I'm going to send you into heaven since you are my father after all. So, but it's kind of odd that here he takes a jewel from that golden cross and basically takes his like a power, and it looks like he's kind of enjoying it a little bit. But actually, the magic you get there is called Sins of the Father, and it's a basically you use gold crosses and you use them to protect. Well, while you're attacking, it can attack you. It's pretty cool. And if you jump over here, you get to obviously another relic demon. So it's pretty nice thing over here. But definitely the cool thing about Sins of Fire is once at level 3, that thing shoots out 3 crosses and they stay in the air for a good amount of time. They do some serious amount of damage to enemies, so it's pretty darn effective. Like I said with this whole paranormal stuff. It's a very strong topic nowadays, especially we're in the Halloween month, October, and it's gonna be big. But definitely the whole, like say, unexplainable stuff like Mothman or the Yeti, the Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, whole bunch of stuff. And of course, there it's actually one of the moves you get, and it's in your scythe move. Is whenever you block a projectile-based attack, you can launch the attack back at the sender. So that means, like, say, a normal demon sends out, like here, I take it from that ammo and poof, fly it back to him. And unfortunately, you don't get any points for it, which kind of sucks. But good old cross moves works in Rust. And there is a version of that for the ground forces, which basically when you block an attack, you can send it back to the enemies or I think it's called repayment. And of course, once again, just basically blast hordes and oysters with righteous path, and there is done. Done like the dotos in a sense. But yep, right now we're gonna go down this elevator. And I was like, oh, that's kind of spooky for a moment. Yeah. And we're down from greed into actually an early showing of the 5th circle of the Inferno, which is the next videos what I'll go over, which is anger. So I'll see you all on the next video, which is of course there.